Welcome everyone. So today we have Dr. Muhammad Omer, one of our students who overcame a lot of struggles and challenges to match at our top university in pathology. So we wanted to set up some time and hear his challenges, how he overcame, and hopefully this will help many of the applicants out there who want to apply to pathology in the coming seasons. So welcome, Dr. Omer. How are you?
Thank you. How are you, Mr. Buan? I'm
Thank you.
doing
Thank
very
you very
well.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
Yes,
So let's start with some introductions about you. Tell us about your year of graduation scores and how you got interested in pathology.
Well, again, thank you, Mr. Buan, for giving me this opportunity, and thank for Sarthi family for actually making up to come all the way to be here with you today. My name is Muhammad Omer. As you mentioned, I'm from Sudan. I graduated from Ain Shams University in Egypt in 2012, and I did my internship, which is part of our graduation. So I finished my internship in 2012 too. Then I decided to come to United States. Since that time, I did my first step. It was a step two. I started by step two. I got my law score. I got law score. It was around 193. At that time, it was a passing score. And I will mention why later. I mentioned this number right now. So yes, and then I decided to continue in my dream, and I did my step two in 2015. I failed CS twice. I passed the third time in 2017. However, I started my first master's degree in healthcare administration here in the United States in 2016. My second master's degree in translational pharmacology in 2019, which is I'm graduating right now, 2021. This is my second attempt in the matching. Last season I applied, I didn't get an interview. This season I got one interview. So basically I matched from one interview. I matched in Brown University in pathology program, and here we are.
So, so excellent. So one of the top universities, Brown universities, and you are what 8 or 9 year old YOG with, like you said,
Yes.
some challenges that you had with USMLE attempts and low scores. So tell us how some of these challenges or maybe other challenges that you faced during this journey, and then your plans to overcome these challenges.
Sure. So my as we see, like my main challenge in here was my law scores. As you see all over the place, if you just look at the internet, if you're asking a lot of people's, unfortunately, scores are the most objective part of your application.
Mhm.
But here's the thing: it is not the end of the story. Matter of fact, it could be the beginning of your story. Yes, and it was the beginning actually of my stories. I had a lot of hard time to accept this score. I work hard to score high, but I still am not that good in taking the exam. But however, I promise myself not to give up. And here is the point: when you promise yourself not to give up and you start looking for a solution, you have to be creative in the way you're looking for a solution, because at the end of the day, it's about what you are bringing to the table for the interviewer, especially when they invite you for an interview.
Mhm.
That means you already have your score. They already seen your score, but they still like your application. Why? Because you are bringing something out of not other applicant they brought to them. That's why I decided to go to two master degrees. I'm not saying everybody has to go to two master degrees. There's a lot of job, but I decided to be more creative, to show them that I came to this country for education. I'm seeking education. I am a doctor. I want to practice medicine here, especially in the pathology. What brings me to the pathology? It's also connected to my vision to why I did two master degree, and why I am mentioning vision word, because when you are about to apply, okay, you finished your exam, regardless you have a high score or low scores. Right now, you have to build a strategy for life, not only for getting your application done. Why for life? Because that's what you're gonna be your theme when you are applying. and that's what going to distinguish you when you are or stand you out when you they compare you with other applicants. Everybody right now they are coming with a research. Everybody right now going with a great volunteer. Everybody coming with a hobbies, achievement. So what stands you out? What you stand you out? It's your strategy, your envision. When I did my 2 master degrees, I had envision for what I am going to do after the
Mm.
pathology residency, not only the pathology residency. It was what how I'm gonna utilize him after that. So I think that's what might stand me out during the interview. I was speaking with the interviewer in a way higher level. I thought that by the expression of our interviewees, but again, um, it is important to work hard to your application, but is as important, as much as important, to put this work in the right way. And that's what actually Safi did to me. I mean,
Yeah. So good. You bring very important point in terms of the passion and dedication that you have to show, the strategy that any applicant has to show, demonstrate in the interview. Also, talk to us about how pathology or any specialty should not be a backup. A lot of students say X is my backup, my primary is A, B, C. So, how did you go about it, and what are your advice for other students who may be thinking, I'll take this as a backup?
sure. Thank you for bringing this question. So here's the thing. Scores, again, it's objective part of your application, right? There is some or let's say a lot of competitive specialty, they take high scores because they already competitive, right? Because there's assumingly people they want them for a financial reason, for what they like, what they hear, social recognition, whatever reason is. But specialty that let's say it another way, easy in terms of scores, okay, that doesn't mean they are backup specialty. There
Mm.
is nothing called backup pathology or a plan B specialty. This is one of the common reason why a lot of people, even with the high score, they don't match. I see that across the social media. For example, some people they said, "Oh, I applied this year for internal medicine slash family medicine." No, family medicine is a whole another specialty. You cannot. I'm not saying you cannot. You of course you can. There is always a lot of possibility, but put yourself in the shoes of the program director. Somebody with showing a desire to the family medicine, regardless the number of the score or regardless the cutoff. Somebody showing the desire for a family medicine through the achievement, through the volunteer, through the experience they got, and somebody just have a high score and he's taken as a backup. Why would they train you? Because at the end of the day, they do not want to train somebody in a score. No, they want to train somebody to benefit the community in this specialty. That's the reason there is no such something called the backup. And this is one of the advice I got from you, Mr. Juan, when I came to you first time. I still had this immature, let's say immature planning. I was like planning to take a pathology and something as a backup. And you advised me clearly not to do so. Go for one specialty at a time. And I am seeing the result right now.
So good. Now, also, let's switch gears and talk about what pathology programs are looking for specifically, and how did you build that profile, whether it is research, whether it is rotation. How did you build all that? So, tell our viewers on what, if they are to apply to pathology, what are these programs looking for? I mean, Brown University is a top university. So, what do they look for? And other programs, and how did you build that?
Sure. When it comes to the pathology, pathology is a niche. It is a standalone specialty.
Mhm.
So here, there's a lot of or some things that you want to focus on in your application. The most important thing, the pathology experience. The pathology experience is very important. Matter of fact, is crucial for the pathologist.
Hmm.
They don't wanna. They literally they can take somebody with a low score, but showing he has a real pathology experience, rather than they take somebody with a high scores and not showing any pathology experience. You don't know what is the pathology. What don't know what entitled pathology is. So pathology experience is crucial.
Mhm.
I really advise people to find not just an observership. I know that finding a job in pathology in this country is hard, but there is a lot of laboratory where you can work with them, not just a pathology assistant. You can work as a lab tech. You can just volunteer with them as a lab technician. Know how what is the laboratory, how laboratory works, the world of pathology out there. This is one of the things. Rather than just applying for observership, you can take that as a great addition to your CV. Another thing, the research. When I mentioned the research here, try to find research related to the pathology at the
Mhm.
basic level and the translational level. Clinical research is a good if you are talking about a clinical research in a pathology field. What I mean is there is some clinical research they are researching, for example, the tests, if the test is going to be a great in this disease or not. That's related to the pathology. But translational and the basic research, they are very, very important. The pathology, the volunteer. A lot of people, they don't put emphasis on that, or like they see it is not that important. Matter of fact, in my CV, I put the volunteer job very tied to the pathology.
Mhm.
How? When I wasn't doing a volunteer, I was speaking in the HIV association. I was speaking with the patient about the difference between HIV tests, the difference of the HIV test, the sensitivity, the specificity. So I'm tying the volunteer to the pathology experience. So everything in the CV has to be tied to the pathology experience, and somehow that's my main advice toward pathology here.
and and you have obviously built up to it with your masters and with your
Yes.
projects. So good. Excellent. So now let's switch gears and talk about this season. So when you came to us and working through PSCV, and then you were in Platinum Plan. So tell us how your strategy this year was different in your application, and then we'll talk about the interviews. So
Sure.
let's start with the application. What did you focus on? How did you change your application this season?
Sure. So as I mentioned, this is my second attempt in the match. The last year I applied. I didn't get an interview. I realized, yes, scores is part of why I didn't get interview. But also my strategy toward the personal statement and the CV. And that's why I was looking for help in building that. I did not just want to reach out to the mean like uh, random websites and in the internet, just giving random advices. I needed specific advice to my situation. And here where I was looking for people that can help me with, and I found Sarthi. To be honest, at the beginning I was a little skeptical to join Sarthi, but when I joined, every day I was working with the Sarthi members, I realized how my CV and personal statement was, and how I'm building it right now, and how the great benefit I'm getting from this community. SAT is not just about company, it's a community. I'm not saying this as a marketing here, but I'm saying this because it's really transformed me from a person who didn't get an interview to a great candidate to get into a Brown University. Um, but however, you need to start from now. Now we are in April, right? um, Residency and matching is not just one-time events. It is a story that you build it all the time with the time. I started all the way from April, reaching out to the program, showing my interest, telling them about myself, and that's why I'm mentioning here, reaching out for program as early as you can. You never know who's gonna bring you for an interview. You might later on ask him about the interview after the season, after the season start, you might asking them about interview, and they can remember you
Mm-hmm.
from that time. That, oh, this is the applicant who just reach out in April. He's very interested, and you never know. Maybe that can take you to all the way to the match. When they start sitting together in the meeting, saying whose applicant is get be a better resident. They said, oh, this guy, he reached out to us since last April. So the bottom line that matching is a story starting from now. Build your plan from now. Reach out to the applicants, start in your research from now. Reach out to Sarthi, sit with your mentorship, sit with your mentors, build up a plan with your mentors, strategy with your mentors. Mr. Wan is here. My mentor was the great Dr. Sharma up till now. Right now, we are in the same field, me and Dr. Sharma. And I even told him, I cannot wait to meet you in the CAP next year. So sitting with the mentor as early as now, that's what's going to build your story for a match.
Okay. Now let's talk about interview preparation and how you went about, that preparation, and then obviously you nailed that interview. So how did you go about it?
So yes, this is one of the main advantage and main benefits from working with you guys. I have done a lot of interview before for a different jobs, not only the matching. I did not realize how disadvantaged I was in interview until I sat in your classes, the interview classes, the series of interview classes. And I got benefits from it, not just only for this interview, also for a life. During the season, I was also applying for a job other than the matching, and because of that, I got some offer from that job. So coming back to this point, to the interview, putting the classes that we have been taught in your mind and practicing it, and keep practicing it to reach to the point that you are going to tell your story and sell yourself in 20 minutes. This is, I'm not saying a lot of job, but you guys, you need to do it as early as you can. And that's what actually started to do. When you go to that interview, regardless how many faculty that you are going to do interview with them, do not hesitate for a second to sell yourself. Sell yourself. That's what I'm telling people advice. Every single interview, at the end of the interview, I used to put a timers, literally a timer, especially it was a virtual nowadays. So I was seeing the clock. When I see that we are approaching last 2 minutes, even if I have a question, if I have two questions, I ask them one and I sell myself in 2 minutes. I'm telling them, yes, I am here. I have been thus. Like, you can in these two minutes just to tell your story, just to try to practice telling your story in the last 2 minutes, and what you are gonna bring to them, and how you're gonna be a great candidate. One more thing I want to just focus on it, guys. It is not only about receiving, it's about giving. What do I mean? For example, when they ask you about a question, tell me a question. When the faculty ask you, hey, do you have a question for me? Most of the people say, okay, how your program gonna help us in the fellowship? What kind of fellowship you have? And all this showing something called receiving skills. That's good to ask this question, but also what you bring to the people. I was asking him a question, literally one of the program faculty. I asked him, what kind of teaching opportunity that you have, guys, for us? I'm one of those guys that I love to teach, because teaching helped me memorizing information. So what kind of teaching opportunity? And he said, you are the first one who asked that question. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to showing you what you are given, not just also what you are receiving. Another great question you can ask, like, what kind of outreach activity, community outreach activity you have, guys? It's not about only how many interviews, how many, like, for example, how many fellowship that you, that's all great, but always focus on what you are giving, what you are bringing to those people. Make yourself distinguish in the interview.
Excellent. Very good. Yep.
Okay.
This is amazing and very very motivating. Now, parting thoughts, for people who may be thinking about applying to pathology or even other specialties, how what your advice would be with 6 months to go? What are some of the things that they should be focused on?
Great. So first of all, guys, regardless you're gonna apply next year or the year after. First of all, regardless your score, never give up. Put your score behind. There is something controllable in the CV and something not controllable. Scores are not controllable anymore. Okay, behind. Why? Build a positivity in your mind. Avoid negativity. Rule number one: avoid any negativity in any forums in this in website that tell you, oh, you had this and that. A. B. There is no, as we mentioned, there is no such a specialty backup. Focus in one specialty and go for it. C. Build all your CV and all your life around that specialty. Just tell yourself that, for example, in pathologist, I've been telling myself, I am pathologist. I want to go pathologist. I have a reason why I want to be a pathologist, because the second master degree, it is a long story. I wish if I had time to mention it, but build why, believe it or not, during this 6 month, you're building your research around it. You're doing a volunteer. Volunteer is very important, guys. In during my interview, all of them, they were speaking about my volunteer. They not all of them, not like people think they were speaking about CV. They were speaking about volunteers, about hobbies. Like I had 8 hours interview speaking about volunteers and hobbies. So this is a hidden things that people, they don't pay attention. Think about how you build your CV, research around the specificity. Avoid negativity. No backup. Reach out from now to the specialty of desire. Reach out to all programs, even Harvard. Reach out to them. At the end of the day, do not afraid about big names, guys. Big names is still on university and they need the people. Reach out to them. Tell them, hey, this is my story. This is who I am. I want to be a pathologist or whatever specialty, and I like you. This is my CV up till now. I'm still improving it. I would like you to see your feedback, and I wish if you can give me an interview. Be nice, but be bold at the same time. Do not hesitate to reach out to anybody. And one more thing, you need somebody to advise you sincerely, honestly. If there is one thing I can see here, it's about Salty, guys. So go for it.
Well, thank you very much, Mohammed. This is very, very motivating, and congratulations once again. You made it to your dream program, and good luck for your residency, and keep in touch.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Ban, again for giving me this opportunity, and see you next time.